Hi, good evening, folks. In this video, we're going to go over all the hitting so far in this year's playoffs and how each team has done and break it all down. Let's take a look at it. Coming up. Okay, I wanted to do a quick video on this today because I want to get on some Sabres stuff tonight. I do want to get some stuff up there. Guys, my computer died on me yesterday. That's the only, it just died. Like, I'm there and it just shuts down. Any of you that's had a Chromebook, which I like Chromebooks, but I got a really good one that I had kept aside and I didn't want to like touch it, and now I'm using it. But I was trying for a good few hours to resurrect my other one. No luck. All right, so here's the thing what I've done, okay? I've listed all the teams from top to bottom, the total hits, the games played, the game average, and the team's record so far. I think this is important because, you know, I'm a big believer physicality can win a Stanley Cup, right? So we'll see. Because there's a team down there that is showing otherwise so far. Inside the numbers, I'll go inside this here after. Let's just go right into it, okay? I'll stay on this side. So I'm going by average, okay? It doesn't matter how many games played. We're early in the playoffs, but I think it's something we should look at because we might see a pattern with these teams as it progresses, okay? Now, Winnipeg is number one. They have 68 hits in their first game, folks. Remember I was saying Winnipeg could win the division? They're built for the playoffs. This is exactly what I meant. If Winnipeg do this, they're going to win that. They're going to win the Canadian division. They're just going to. If they're going to do this, the first two rounds, this is a big team too. So think about it. So 68 games. So far they're 68 hits. One game played, 68. The percentage here is how many games, how many hits per game, okay? And the record's 1-0. Number two is Montreal. Now, you're going to hear everybody in the world today talking about how Toronto could have won this game yesterday. No, and I'm going to show you why in a second. No. And if anything, they should have rallied around Tavares getting hurt. They should have rallied around it and got more aggressive. Instead, they did this silly fight with Foligno after. Sorry, no, that's not the answer, guys. You're going to pick a fight, you do it late in the game to get the team going. You don't do it, it was so fake. It's just so staged. I was like, oh, come on, are you kidding me? If Perry would have done that on purpose, and I'm sure you guys have seen it by now, it was a complete accident. He even tried to get out of the way, and then Foligno picks a fight with him. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. If that's, anyway, if that's leadership, sorry, I don't want it. No, leadership's late in the game, you do something like that. Anyway, let Toronto do what they got to do, Montreal out-hits Toronto in this game, 55-27, guys, double. No kidding, they won. Price looked sharp, they were fine. I think the shots were 36-30 Toronto, but sorry, Montreal won the boards, they won the corners. If Montreal does that, Toronto's in trouble. I'm telling you. Toronto's going to have to wake up in this department. They're going to have to. But I said that all year, and all you know what happens? Toronto fans come and they get their feelings hurt. Well, too bad. Okay? Because too bad this is what happens in the playoffs when you don't hit. Anyway, moving on. There's my mini rant about the Leafs. Because I deal with their drama, guys. I deal with their drama that they post in my notes. You know what I mean? And I have to block these people and stuff, and it's just silliness, right? It is. All right, so Montreal, 55 average, 1-0. Do I think Toronto could come back? Absolutely. But if Toronto gets out hit like this again, they're finished. They're done. Toronto's done. I'll tell you right now, they're done again. They'll be done in 6 games if Montreal continue playing this pace. The Islanders, no surprise here. The Islanders have 164 hits in 3 games, a 54.6% average, 54.6 hits per game average, sorry. And they're 1-2 so far because they're playing a very mentally strong team with a lot of Stanley Cup rings. And that, if the Islanders can continue at this pace, I think the Islanders still take out the Penguins. I do. Yeah, I do. Well, we'll see. Carolina, very alarming, folks. Nobody's noticing this. 108 hits in 2 games, 54 per game average, or 2-0. The Carolina Hurricanes look excellent right now. Excellent. If you were to ask me who I think right now, this minute's going to win the Stanley Cup, I'd say Carolina. What I've seen so far, it's early. But my God, they look sharp out there. Jesus. Oof. They're hitting, they're passing, they're doing it all, the whole package, you know what I mean? And they're up against a very aggressive, that Nashville team is hitting them. They're not like sitting back, just going like this. They're hitting back. All right, Edmonton, number 5, 50 hits. 1 game played, 50 average, 0 for 1. Why? Because they played Winnipeg in that game, who had 68. You can get 50 hits, but if you're going to give up 68, you're losing the physical battle. You are, right? Vegas, number 6, creeping up there. Just so you know, they're creeping up there. I've noticed a pattern with them. 149 hits in 3 games, 49.6 average per game, and they're 2-1. They've and the reason why yesterday, if you're going to say, well, you know, what's going on exactly? If you go look at Minnesota's hits, in the first game, I believe they had 71, and yesterday they had 29 on their home ice. Not good. Not good. And they looked good, but they weren't finishing their hits. I watched the game. It's just frustrating to watch because I was pulling from Minnesota. Minnesota, 147 hits in the 3 games. They're 49 average. So you see how tight it is with these two. They're neck and neck right here also. They're 1-2. If Minnesota's going to let Vegas out hit them, Minnesota's done. They're done. Minnesota's only chance in this series is to really do what they did in Game 1 again and just hit them like crazy. That Game 1 was the best playoff game I think I've seen so far. The 1-0 game? Really, it has been. Washington, 144 hits in 3 games, 48 average per game. Excellent. And they're 1-2. They're up against the Bruins, folks. You know? And the Bruins are down here, which I'll explain in a sec when we get down there. All right, next is Florida. Florida have 137 hits in 3 games, 45.6 per game average. They're 1-2 so far. They're up against the defending Stanley Cup champions. But I think Florida is going to get back in this series. I think they might even force a Game 7 eventually. We'll see. I hope so. I'm really pulling for Florida to come back. No matter what, I could see Florida at least pushing this to 6 if they lose. You know, at least to 6. Nashville, underrated so far because they've been very physical also. 88 hits in 2 games, 44 per game average. And yeah, look, they're in the top 10, you know, but I'm just saying they haven't looked so bad. They're 0-2 because they lost both the games. And they're playing Carolina, who look just amazing right now. God, amazing. Now, Boston, 131 hits in 3 games, 43.6 average per game. They're 2-1. If you're going to say, well, how are they 2-1? I would say because the last game, even though the shots were 60-57 for Boston, it was a Boston Bruin tempo game. You know, the Bruins had the Capitals, I think, kind of at their mercy physically, forcing them into a real hard physical game. And I think this is why you've seen Ovechkin even having his tantrum after the game, angry. They're getting into Washington's heads now, Boston. Mark my words. We'll see what the Capitals do next game because they're going to have to keep their cool. They can't, you know. I didn't like what I seen with Ovechkin at all at the end of that game. Not at all. You keep that in the dressing room. You don't call out your teammates on the ice in front of cameras and no. You do that in a game, in the middle of a game, if you're losing, you know, if you're yelling at your bench. But at the game, when the game's over, no. You don't let the friggin' media have a field day with your loss. You just don't do that. Tampa is next. 118 hits in 3 games, 39.3, 2-1 so far. Tampa probably could win the Stanley Cup again if they're averaging 40 hits a game. Yeah, they could. But I would say last year that would have put them right about here, not down here. There's a lot of aggression out there this year, guys. Toronto. I know. Pittsburgh, I mentioned. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Okay, so Pittsburgh is... what did I just mention? I mentioned Tampa, right. Sorry, guys. It's boiling in here. Oh, my God. Pittsburgh, 113 hits in 3 games. 37.6 average. Maybe that's what I'm saying. There's something about the Penguins that bugs me this year. I can't pinpoint it still. It's driving me nuts. There's just something about them. I don't believe in this team. I just don't. They're 2-1. Watch the Penguins go on a run. Go to the finals. I'm like, what happened? You can't tell in this day and age. You can't. Now, here we go. The bottom feeders. Toronto, 27 hits in their first game, folks. I'll tell you what, if my captain got knocked out like that on the ice back when I was playing hockey, forget it. Forget it. They're going to have to throw me out of the game by the time the game's done. You know how it is. Come on. They weren't physical enough yesterday. I've been saying this about the Leafs all year. And all I do is hurt Toronto Maple Leaf fans' feelings. Sorry, guys, I'm not here. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm just a guy with a channel like you, if you have one. Now, can Toronto pick this up? Absolutely. Absolutely. Toronto can do better than that. I mean, everybody was saying they got all mean and tough. Well, I didn't see it yesterday. I seen Foligno fight a lame fight, and that's it. I didn't see any hard hitting by Toronto. Not at all. Toronto's going to have to pick up the hitting. If Toronto can match Montreal's hitting, their skill will win out. We all know that. Toronto have the skill to win this series no matter what. So, But Montreal, I've got to keep that pace up. 50 or more hits a game on Toronto. Wear them down. It's the only way to beat them. St. Louis is next, who look as flat as pancakes, I find. St. Louis looked terrible in this playoff. And you know what, Ryan O'Reilly never should have said publicly they're going to win this series. That was the dumbest thing. Dumbest thing. You don't fire up a team like Colorado. You keep them dormant if you can, You try at least. Don't fire them up. And I think that's why they're up 2-0, because that they probably really rubbed the Avalanche the wrong way here, him doing that, Shouldn't do that. 47 hits in 2 games. For a pretty pathetic 23.5, How are you going to beat a team like Colorado if you're going to play, and I'll explain why they're playing at their pace, and it's like they're 0-2. Colorado, 35 hits in 2 games, 17.5 a game average, folks. Now, I think Colorado are a smart enough team to know right now they can be crap like this with the hitting because they can play their game. St. Louis isn't being physical like they were with the Bruins in the finals. They're not doing that in this series, I'll tell you right now. And that's for me, why I'm not going to underrate Colorado still. I'm going to wait and see. If Colorado do this against Vegas, forget it. Forget it. They won't last but 5 games. They'll be gone so fast, it won't be funny. This will have to pick up. And any fans that disagree with that, you're probably in your 20s and you just don't get it. I'm telling you right now, if Colorado think they're going to win the Stanley Cup and have under 20 hits a game in the playoffs, good luck with that, okay? Good luck. It's not happening. But right now, I think they can get away with it. I do. I really do. Because St. Louis is, honestly, they look flaky. They look uninterested. It's kind of weird. It really is. Maybe that hit by Kadri might wake them up. Maybe. I don't know. It's almost like they got their Stanley Cup out of their system a few years ago and that desire kind of left with it. That happens to teams too. Anyway, I said it from the beginning. They got the wrong captain. He never should shut off his mouth before the playoffs. Good God. I don't know what the hell. If I was a coach, I would have ripped into him for that. Honest to God, I would have ripped into him for that, but it is what it is. We'll see what St. Louis does on their home ice, if they can turn it around. We'll see, But so far, I got to admit, the most alarming thing for me is Carolina. Because they're not just hitting, folks, they're skating. They look like Colorado, the way they're skating, but they're doing this too. What I've seen. Oh my God. And Montreal, I wasn't surprised they won that game. When I seen the hits like that yesterday, when I see Montreal the first half of the game, the way they were out hitting them, I was like, they're going to win this game. They're going to win this game. Price doesn't have that much work to do. It's not like Toronto's that imposing. Toronto's not coming at them in the corners. Nothing. I couldn't believe it. So we'll see. We'll see if Toronto wake up, because if I know this, Toronto knows this. You know what I mean? These guys are veterans. There's a lot of veterans on this team that look at that and know that that's wrong, what happened there. So we'll see. All right, so here's how I broke this down. And then I gotta close this video. It's boiling in here today. It's 60 teams that have 60 or more shots in this playoffs are 5-0. It's a sure thing. You're winning the game. You get 60 hits, you're winning the game, you know? And that's what I'm going to wait and see if the Leafs do that next game. And St. Louis. I'll be curious to see St. Louis because we know that's a physical team when they're on their game. I cannot believe St. Louis with their I don't get it. I just don't. Now, 50 hits or more in a game, teams are 10-3. And the asterisk on the 3 is because the 3 teams that lost, okay, that had 50 hits, gave up more than 50 hits. So, you know, you don't want to get 50 hits in a game but give up 82. That's, you know, kind of works against you. So that's why. So teams that out-hit a team and have 50 or more hits in the playoffs are guaranteed basically to win the game. If you've out-hit your opponent. The numbers don't lie. So far, it's early. You know what I mean? 36 team games so far. That means 18 games, 2 teams per game, all right? This is the hitting so far in the playoffs as a whole. Just so you know, 30 hits or more in a game, 29 of those 36 games, there's that many. Then 40 or more hits in a game by a team in a game, 22 times it's happened. So 22 out of 36 situations with a team in a dressing room, 22 out of 36 have hit 40 or more hits in a game. So it's good. This is playoff hockey, you know? It's weird, eh? You go and look at the NHL and you see 17 hits a game and all of a sudden you see 71. It's like, God, the playoffs are crazy. 50 or more hits in a game, it's happened 13 times so far. 60 hits or more in a game, it's happened 5 times. And 70 or more, it's happened 2 times. And yes, the 2 teams won that did that. 29 hits and under per game, it's happened 7 times. 4 of those 7 times are St. Louis and Colorado series. It's not been a physical series at all, folks, at all yet. And I think, in a way, if I'm Colorado, I'm kind of happy it's going like this. If I'm an Avalanche fan, I'm kind of relieved that we're not getting pummeled into the wall yet in the playoffs and we're kind of able to walk right through so far because that's how it's going for Colorado. They're putting St. Louis away quick and fast without even having to be too physical yet. They can just say, you know what, let's keep this pace going. You know, we can, you know, get out of here with bruises, get out of the series quick, rest up, and then we'll be ready for a physical series maybe next series, right? Guys, I'll tell you what, when they play Vegas, it's not going to go like this. Vegas ain't going to have 23.5 hits a game. If they do, Vegas are gone. Colorado will wipe them out quick and fast. So that's where I see that. So for Leaf fans, get on it. Get on it, guys. You got a powerhouse team, but what I've said every year about the Leafs is they're just not physical enough come playoff time. And so far, they've proven me right after 1 game. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. It's early. It's early. I'm just saying. They should be able to go through Montreal in 5 games. With the talent that team has, Toronto should be able to take out Montreal 4-1. They should be able to. And Colorado beating St. Louis is no shock, you know. It's just the way St. Louis is playing them shocked. I thought St. Louis would have 40 hits a game at least. Couldn't believe they're doing this. I really, you know. But anyway, those are the numbers so far just with the physical play of the playoffs. And, just so you know, the team that has out-hit the other team in the 18 games are 11-7. You know, if you take away Colorado, St. Louis, they're 11-5. You know, Colorado's 2-0, we know. It's like Colorado is like, I wonder if Colorado's going to do this all playoff and win the cup. Imagine that. I wouldn't have any answers. It would be funny. It would be funny if Colorado, like, you know, just let their skill win out and, you can't hit us, we're too fast, you know, all playoffs. I'm just saying, it would be funny, you know. But that's it so far. Keep an eye on the Jets. Okay, the Jets are built for the playoffs, folks. That's a team that could go to the finals if everything just fell into place. But I just can't see it. But it could. It just could. You never know in the playoffs. Carolina. If I was to pick of the 16 teams of the games I watched so far, folks, Carolina looked dynamite again. But I said that last year, and then they took a nosedive. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, that's it. I am getting out of this jersey. I'm going to go have an ice cold drink of, I don't know, tap water. But I'm getting out of this studio. I'll talk to you later, folks. Have a good one.